Survivor 43, Gabler. That's 5, that's enough.
Thank you.
We have our winner.
That's one excited family in the Woodlands tonight cheering on tonight's winner of Survivor. Mike Gabler, a heart valve specialist from Kingwood, is taking home the $1 million prize. He is the second oldest winner in the history of Survivor, and in a move that shocked everyone, he announced during tonight's show what he plans to do with that prize money.
There are people that need that money more, and I'm going to donate the entire prize, the entire $1 million, in my father's name, Robert Gabler, who's a Green Beret, to veterans in need who are troubling from psychiatric problems, PTSD, and to curb the suicide epidemic. We're going to save lives and do something good. Season 43, all of us did this. $1 million is going to them.
How amazing is that? So we salute you, Mike Gabler, and your father.
Oh man, Mike. Okay, people, of course, viewers, of course, tuning in to see who wins Survivor, but your big announcement got everyone. I mean, you really, you impressed so many people with your announcement that you're donating not just part of your winnings, but your entire winnings, your prize money to veterans in need of mental health services. When did you make that decision?
It was made before the show even started. So my wife and I were talking with one of my old college roommates. He was a veteran, and we were just kind of, tongue in cheek saying, if you win, which, that's a long shot, right? If you win, what about donating some or all of it to charity? And the more we talked about it out loud, the more it made sense. And, it was such a blessing to be selected to play the game that I love, on my favorite show, and to be on the show and to go through this experience and, to come out of that and to have that prize money to do even more good. I mean, Survivor is the gift that keeps on giving. And I just, so I talked to my wife ahead of time, and then I come back when the show was concluded, and I'm like, darling, are you still good with us making that decision? Because I did it, and she was, of course. And so, yeah, and that's how it went. But yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's incredible. What was interesting to a lot of people and Survivor fans is that you didn't bring up your intentions for the prize money at Final Tribal Council. That was kind of a big deal. Why did you choose not to do that?
So great question. I thought about it for a split second, and then I thought about how hollow that would be. I wanted to win the game on merit, not on anything else. And I didn't want to be perceived as using a patient population I care deeply about for my own advantage. So for me, I wanted to make sure that I waited. And I'm glad the producers produced it the way they did, because, I won on my own merit, 7 out of 8 votes, and then surprised all of my castaways and Jeff with the announcement at the end. And I couldn't have gone better. It was, it's literally a dream come true. I dreamed that happening many a long night out there in Survivor, because, when you're doing something for something bigger than yourself, you can find ways to go deeper than you ever thought possible. If I was just out there for Gabler, I don't know, it wouldn't have been as meaningful. Maybe I wouldn't have tried as hard. But, knowing this patient population is counting on me, and I'm getting closer and closer, I got to find a way to stay in it. I got to win, for these patients. And I did. And that's just a blessing come true.
You had mentioned before that you come from a military family, that your dad was a Green Beret. When you made this announcement, have you had a chance to talk to them? How do they feel about your big announcement?
You bet. I was sitting right next to them on the couch last night. So it was incredible to be next to my dad. His health is not great these days, but to be there with him and to honor him, it was really special. And it was powerful to him. It was powerful to me and everybody in our family. My mother's brothers were in the military. My dad's 2 brothers were both also served in the military. I did not, to be clear. I'm not a veteran. I had the opportunity to serve, but I'd never had the honor of serving. So having the honor to serve those who served us, really big for me.
It's big for a lot of people applauding what you're doing. Let's talk about the show now. I want to talk about strategy because you said it yourself. I am hiding in plain sight. You did pretty well with that. How did that serve you during the course of the show?
You know, the show is very fluid. It's almost like downhill skiing through a forest of trees. And you got to dash this way, dash that way, and try not to get clobbered on the way down the mountain. But, you know, hiding in plain sight is all about managing your threat level and
Mhm.
also taking out the threats that you see coming against you. And, you know, early on, you know, when Baca lost its first challenge, it kind of reverberated throughout our tribe. And even though Baca went on a winning spree, we were those fissures, those cracks let paranoia in. And, you know, we were always waiting for a plan B in case the other shoe dropped. And during that time, Ellie got very close with Janine. I got very close with Sammy. Owen was kind of in the middle. And then we got to the merge. And, you know, the Alec Gabler, if you will, you know, shot out. And we're there with new players. Bessie and Coco were there. And that was the time to bring her name up. I waited 10 days to drop that on everybody. And, you know, as a Survivor fan, when a name comes out at merge, it's pretty sticky.
Mhm.
And it usually goes. And that allowed me to get to vote with people that I'd never even really gotten to see other than at challenges, and build a little bit of trust that helped me go a little bit deeper in the game.
So we have to point out you're the second oldest person to win Survivor. It is incredibly taxing on your body, your mental, and your physical health. How are you doing today? Has your body or your health changed in any way after this season?
You know, it really, great question. It's a very hard game. The new era of Survivor is hard and fast. They don't give you anything. And, you know, I went into the game at 200 pounds and I came out at 162. So I lost 38 pounds in a month. And, you know, it was very hard. The first week is probably the worst. So anybody that's thinking about going on Survivor, that first week is the hardest because you're the most delicious to the bugs at that point. You're sweating out minerals, salts, and sugars. And I had bug bites on my bug bites. And I was all sunburned. I was hungry. I was dehydrated. I was sleep deprived. I was lonely, all kinds of stuff. And somewhere around day 6 or 7, you turn a corner and the mental part takes over and you just start getting stronger. And, you know, I just started getting stronger as the game progressed. I mean, it was hungry times, no doubt, but it really was. If you could just get past that initial hump, it was a big deal. And then, of course, playing for something bigger than me. I mean, I
Mhm.
wanted to have a big adventure. I wanted to go deep into myself. I wanted to think about my family, my friends, the role I play on these heart teams that I work with. But, you know, thinking about veterans while I was out there, and, you know, what good this $1 million can do for patients and people in need, was very powerful. And it was like my little nuclear engine deep inside my heart that was fueling me.
Your motivation was clear, but now walking away from all of this and this huge experience, what did it do for you?
Wow. You know, you have a lot of time out there on the beach.
Mhm.
At night, when everybody finally decides to go to bed, you kind of lay there on the stars and you're looking up at the beautiful Fijian sky. And I would think for a couple hours about the game. And then I'd, you know, go to sleep for a couple hours and then the crabs would be crawling on you or something, you know, bugs are all over you and you'd wake up and I'd look up at the stars and I'd start thinking about my family, start thinking about my coworkers and these amazing people on the heart team that I work with. And I basically came out of that more appreciative to the nth power, and, you know, wanting to be a better father, husband, son, brother, friend, and, you know, just more appreciative to everything in my life. So Survivor was a true blessing for me, and it was priceless what I got from that game. It's priceless.
Anything that you regret missing while you were away with your family?
Okay, well, I was counting down the days because my daughter was a senior in high school at the time, and I was going to miss her prom. So when the day came, you know, I'd counted down. I knew it was her prom, did the hours, and I kind of figured out the time. And I
Mhm.
was, you know, it was a lonely day. And Ellie and Janine, we were all friends out there. We were fierce competitors, clearly, but we're friends. And they took a human moment, and Ellie and Janine came up and said, Gabler, why don't we do a Baca prom night? And Ellie and I went down looking for snails. Janine got a couple hermit crabs. Owen got a coconut. Sammy got a fire going. We came back and we had, a couple mouthfuls of food. And then we did a little dance on the beach on a Baca prom night. And it was awesome. It was a little break from the game, but we all cared about each other. And I hope Survivor shows it as an extra because it was really cool. It was really cool.
Oh, that would be a moment to see, definitely for fans. Speaking of your castmates here, who are you the closest to after the show now, and who do you think you're going to remain lifelong friends with?
I keep up with everybody still. In fact, NECA and her family are coming to Houston tomorrow, and we're going to get together
Oh,
with them at my sister's house, which is going to be awesome. She's an amazing, amazing woman, and her family is incredible. Her son went to West Point, by the way, and her other two children are amazing too. But I keep up with Cody, Jesse, Sammy for sure. Sammy and I are even talking about maybe doing an Amazing Race or something together one of these days. Noelle, amazing person. There's Brian. Honestly, I keep up with everybody on text streams, and the Baca is still in a text group. The Coconut Grove is everybody like post merge. Then there's the pre-merge. We're all in there together, so it's a special group of people.
and that's not always the case after Survivor. Not everyone really gets along, but it sounds like this cast really bonded. So that's really great to hear that you're in touch with everyone. You work as a heart valve specialist. How's it been getting back to regular, normal life and integrating? And how has your perspective on life changed moving forward?
I love what I do. I work for an amazing company that makes world-class heart valves, and we do amazing things for patients every day. And I am truly blessed and appreciative to do what I do with these surgeons and cardiologists and anesthesiologists. I am not a doctor. I am a heart valve specialist. I've been doing this for about, I've been in endovascular and transcatheter therapies for about 20 years, and I've had great mentors in my life. And for me, it's just, I really enjoy it. They all love me. We've had a lot of fun this season watching this together, and it's just been a blessing. Survivor's just the gift that keeps on giving.
I love it. I love it. Mike, anything else that you'd like to add that I didn't ask you about?
Oh, I think you did a great job. Everything was fantastic. And Jeff is as cool a guy in person as he is on the show. Like, you see him, that is Jeff. He is exactly like that. And when he calls out your name because you're in last place on a challenge, it's like, oh my God, he's talking to me. It's crazy, but he's a cool guy.
Oh my goodness, that's cool to hear. I've heard a lot of former contestants say that as well, so that is really cool. Very consistent. Everyone feels the same way about him. I think that's it, Mike. You got to stop by the KHOU studio sometime. It's so great to meet you this way virtually, but hope to meet you in person someday. And take care. We were so excited to see your win last night.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. And I really do appreciate it. And anybody sitting on the couch thinking about doing Survivor, I turned 50 a couple of years ago, put together an audition tape, sent it in, and bam. So, life is short, life is now, live it.
I love it. Thank you, Mike. Take care. Have a good one.
Hey, thank you so much. Take care.